Did you know that there are two verses in the Bible that are the shortest and the longest, but they have such a gigantic impact that many fail to realize it? One of them is extremely brief, but carries an impressive depth, while the other, almost an entire paragraph, contains so many details that it tells more than a simple historical record. What could a text as short as "Jesus wept" hide? And why does the longest verse, full of information and details, contain so much condensed content? Stay with me until the end, because I'm going to reveal a secret hidden in these verses that you probably never realized. What if I told you that the shortest and the longest have something in common that no one expects? Let's get straight to the point. The shortest verse in the Bible is John 11:35. It just says Jesus wept. 2 words. But these 2 words carry more power than many pages of entire books. It seems simple, doesn't it? But this verse has a deep meaning that many of us don't understand at first glance. Of Lazarus, one of God's dearest friends, Jesus. Lazarus had been dead for 4 days, and when Jesus arrived at the scene, he saw not only the suffering of Mary and Martha, but also the pain of everyone who was present. Human pain, he was moved, he cried. But what did these tears really mean? But decided to wait. And when he arrives, he weeps, not for lack of power, but out of compassion, to see our suffering from afar, but to share in it with us. Now, if we dig a little deeper, some theological interpretations claim that these tears of Jesus also represent something beyond compassion, a reaction against death itself. Death was not God's original plan for humanity. In Genesis, God created man to live eternally, but sin brought death. Thus, by crying, Jesus not only shares in people's pain, but also expresses indignation against something that God never intended for his children, oblivious to human tragedy. On the contrary, he suffers with us, and this is one of the greatest mysteries of the Christian faith. Now let's go to the other end of the Bible, Esther 8:9. This verse is very different from John 11:35, but it still carries a profound message. This verse is a decree from the Persian king Ahasuerus, allowing the Jews to defend themselves against an evil plan of extermination devised by Haman. But when we look deeper, we realize a powerful lesson. God is in the details of life, even in the most everyday and seemingly unimportant situations, telling us that God is at work behind the scenes in the most subtle moments of history. Even when we do not see a miraculous intervention, God is orchestrating the events of history, putting everything in the right place at the right time to fulfill his plans. What this verse also teaches us is about God's sovereignty. Even though the Jewish people were in imminent danger, God used the political situation and even Persian law itself to ensure that his people were protected. God doesn't just act directly in moments of need, of great miracles, but is also in control of situations that seem completely human and natural. You see, God may be working behind the scenes in ways you can't see, using the most unlikely situations to achieve his purposes. And here comes the great connection between these 2 verses. What do they have in common? They reveal to us 2 facets of God. In John 11:35, we see the God who weeps with us, who feels our pain, who is neither distant nor indifferent. He is present in our pain and offers us his compassion. The one who shares our pain, the other shows us the God who cares for us and defends us when we see no way out. And the shocking revelation here is that when we put these 2 verses together, we have a complete representation of the character of God. The God who weeps with us in trouble, and the God who fights for us when we are in danger. He is the God of compassion and of providence, the God who is personal and close in our pain, and the sovereign God who acts invisibly and powerfully to protect us. His action may be silent, but it is ever present, moving mountains, changing hearts, and directing the course of history to fulfill his purposes. See how these 2 seemingly simple verses have surprising depth. They show us that the Bible is full of mysteries and hidden meanings waiting to be discovered. Now I want to know from you, which of these verses impacted you the most? Jesus wept, or the decree in Esther? Which one touched your heart the most? On the channel and share this video with someone who will also love to learn these secrets. a reflection for your heart. Now, I invite you to reflect. Perhaps you are going through a difficult time, feeling alone or afraid. But even when you don't, see it, God is working. Even when it seems like everything is out of control, He is in the details of your life, orchestrating protection, healing, and divine purpose. No matter how big your pain or struggle, you are not alone. And always remember, He who cries with you also fights for you. God is closer than you think. He is with you in moments of anguish and joy, guiding your steps and preparing the way for your victory. Now I want to know from you, which of these verses touched your heart most deeply? Jesus wept, or God's silent intervention in Esther? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to share this message with anyone who needs to feel the comfort of knowing that God is present, working in silence, taking care of every detail of our lives. Because remember, He never abandons us even when we don't see it. Be strong, stay strong, and remember, God is with you every step of the way. My name is Patrick Castillo, and I wish you the best. May you grow, evolve, and prosper greatly. If you wish the same for me, tell me in the comments. I would love to know that you are following me.